Welcome to Lupus Speaks Podcast, where we navigate the journey of living with lupus together. I'm your host, Shant'e, and I'm thrilled to have you here. And I can't wait to share new stories and insights with you. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. Hi, warriors and friends. Welcome back to Lupus Speaks. Today, we have a very special guest joining us, someone who is truly making waves in the lupus community. I'm thrilled to welcome Sophia Galvis, a 17-year-old lupus warrior who is already leaving her mark in a big way. Sophia is a model and actress based in Atlanta, but beyond that, she's an incredible advocate and public speaker, using her voice to raise awareness and inspire others living with lupus. Despite the challenges of managing a chronic illness at such a young age, Sophia continues to push forward with resilience, grace, and determination. In this episode, we'll hear her story, how she balances her health and her career, what keeps her motivated, and the message she wants to share with the world. So grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's conversation with the amazing Sophia Galvis. Let's welcome her to the show.
I'm so happy to be on here. How are you doing, Shant'e?
I'm doing well. I cannot complain. So, a little bit about you and your lupus diagnosis, because I really want my audience to understand that lupus doesn't come later on in life.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed on my 12th birthday exactly. I was experiencing symptoms when I was 11 years old for a long, long time. That's when it really started. Like, I was usually super healthy as a child, never got sick, never felt bad, never had to go to the doctor. And then when I was like around 11, I started experiencing symptoms. I was tired all the time. My joints were hurting. I had tons of horrible nosebleeds. And the day before my birthday, I was taken to the hospital in an ambulance, and we just kind of sat in the waiting room all night and then got some tests taken. And then the next day they diagnosed me with lupus.
Wow. That's so interesting. I guess in the sense of like, I have a younger daughter and then I have lupus as well. So it's one of those things of like, could I have passed it on to her? What were the things that I would need to look for as signs as a young girl, trying to navigate those types of symptoms? Like, was it something your mama was instantly able to notice, or did you have to describe like, Mom, I'm in the pain? Did she even believe you? Because, kids can be dramatic. Did she even believe some of the symptoms, or were they quite obvious?
Well, I would occasionally say that I didn't feel good. So it was like, you're fine, because kids can be dramatic. And after a while, I guess I just kind of stopped noticing the pain. I got used to it. My kidneys were failing. I was a stage 4 kidney disease, which I didn't know that at the time. But I just got used to the pain. And so I had this huge rash on my face. It was like scabbed over. It was like the lupus butterfly red. Yeah, and that was kind of the telltale sign. That's definitely not normal. And so that was when we went to the doctor, and they were like, hey, this is bad, and we need to do these tests.
So what kind of role did your family and friends play in your recovery and going on this journey with lupus?
My family, they have been the biggest blessing ever. I came out of the hospital. They took turns coming to the hospital and sleeping there and bringing new clothes and new activities for me to do. And then after that, I had to go through a series of infusions and doctor's appointments, and they were just so amazing. My parents, they worked from home, so they changed their jobs so they could be able to work from home. They put me in a homeschool program that was super flexible and super easy, so I could do infusions, because once you do a chemo infusion, it kind of knocks you out for like 3-4 days after, so you can't really do anything. And then doctor's appointments every couple of weeks, which was a lot. And they were just absolutely amazing. They took me to all the appointments. They made it super easy for me to take my medication. I had never swallowed a pill in my life before then. And now I'm having to take like 20 pills a day, which is absolutely crazy. And just the mental battle, they were always there for me. I never felt alone or unsupported.
Okay, so what advice would you give your younger self, like when you first was diagnosed? How old are you now?
I'm 17.
17. So at 12, like, what would be the advice that you would give her navigating those types of symptoms? Because just from a parent perspective, my thing would be concern of, yes, your pain and whether you're hiding it or if you feel like you're a burden to me as their parent, or making sure you don't feel like you're missing out on anything? How would you navigate? Like, what would you say?
Well, I would just say, like, there is another side. Like, it's not good in the moment. It's horrible. You feel like, because I'd never been sick before. I never thought I would be sick. I didn't think this could happen to me, and it did. And so it almost felt like the end of the world a little bit, especially for like the end of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I'll say there's another side, because you can get through it if you just keep going. Like I didn't know it at the time. I did go through a lot of mental battles, but there's another side, and you need to listen to your body. You need to listen to what it's telling you. You can't ignore it.
So could you elaborate a little bit more when it comes to you saying a mental battle? Just because everybody's story is different. So from a perspective like yours, being so young, what would be some of the things that you would have to battle?
Mental battle, I would say especially at 12 years old, I was in middle school. I wanted friends. I wanted to be liked. And with all of those medications and all of the things my body was going through, I looked a little bit different. I looked more sick. And it was just really hard to be like, to have people tell me, oh, you look different than you used to. And what's going on? You don't look the same. Just telling me that they can see that physically. And, I just want to have friends. And having them tell me that, and then I felt bullied a little bit. And that's when my parents decided to take me out of school. And yeah, also just the mental battle internally with myself, with knowing I looked different, knowing that I didn't look the same, and it wasn't great. So I was just going through like body image issues and just wanting to look, like normal.
Okay. So transitioning from the space that you were in mentally, how did you discover this space of wanting to be an advocate? What part of lupus are you advocating for? Is it just an overall space? Are you speaking more to the youth? Like, what way do you feel like you show up as an advocate for the lupus community?
I want to show up as an advocate, yes, for the youth, for the younger girls like me, that, like I said, there is another side, because I didn't have that. I didn't know about lupus. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anybody who had it or know that people my age could have it. Very alone in that area. And I want other girls to know that they aren't alone and that there is another side. You can get through it, and we can, with more advocating, bring more awareness and develop a better cure for lupus.
Okay. So can you share a moment when you felt your advocacy efforts truly made a difference for someone in this community?
It was a few years ago. I really, really remember this moment in particular. We were at the Capitol and we were advocating. It was for Youth Advocacy Day in particular. And I was sharing my story about lupus. And after this lady, she comes up to me crying. And she's like, my sister died from lupus, and now my daughter has it, and she's young, and she's really alone. And it was just like super emotional for me, because, as someone living with lupus, it's like, people die from it. And you know what that means for yourself. You have to speak up for yourself and for other people to prevent that. But also that she had a young daughter that had lupus, and that really spoke to me. And she was like, I would like to get connected with her. And I was able to get connected with this girl who was like 10 or 11 at the time. It really hit me personally.
Yeah.
I've been communicating with her ever since. I've been kind of helping her along the way. And that's really, it's impacted me probably as much as it's impacted her.
Right. That's beautiful. Such a heavy responsibility, but it's beautiful at the same time. So are there specific changes or improvements that you would like to see in the medical or social support systems for lupus patients?
Yes, I would like to see a lot, actually. When I was diagnosed, they put me on chemo, like I said. I mentioned that a lot, but it is usually used to treat cancer. But we had to use it to treat lupus, because lupus doesn't have many specific personalized medications. There's Plaquenil that is specifically for lupus. They were coming out with more like Benlysta and a couple of other new medications, but we still don't have that many, and we have to go through intense treatments like chemotherapy and steroids to be able to treat it. And I don't feel like those specifically target lupus and can do a lot more damage than...
Right. That's correct. So what is the current treatments that you are on right now, or if any?
I'm still on chemotherapy. I'm not doing infusions anymore. I'm taking pills twice a day. I'm also on Plaquenil once a day. I'm on a blood pressure medication to help with my blood pressure because, all these medications, they kind of throw things off. So you have to have some to counteract side effects. I'm taking vitamin D since I can't have sun. So that helps with mood. And I'm also taking, I'm trying to think, a hair and nail medication. It's just to kind of help with growth since lupus does affect that.
So when you are talking about some of your self-care practices that have helped you maintain your mental and physical health, what would that look like? Because I know you mentioned all of these medications. So how do you incorporate staying on top of those things as well as juggling school?
My family has helped a lot with that. Really, they help make it easier for me when I don't feel like I want to refill my medication. My mom will be like, "Okay, I'll do it for you." She'll help pick up my medication prescriptions, and my mom really, she plays a big part. She helps support me mentally. Sometimes I just break down crying because I don't want to. There, she'll reassure me and she'll hold me, and I feel like my mom, she just has really helped me through it.
That's beautiful. Girl, hug your mom all the time.
I know.
Yes. So what would you say to someone who feels like giving up during a difficult flare?
I would say it is very, very difficult, but living the life after it is worth it 100%. Lupus, for me, it changed my perspective on life. I'm much more willing and spontaneous to do things that I probably wouldn't have done before. I have been much more eager to accomplish and push for my dreams, which I have accomplished so much more than I would have if I didn't have lupus, I think. And I believe that once you get through that flare, your life is going to be very much worth living. I think you should just keep pushing through and don't give up.
How has music helped you cope with these challenges of lupus? Do you have any advice for others exploring creative outlets?
Creative outlets really, really help. Sometimes they'll help you take your mind off of sometimes the pain of the day, or just if you have work and school, you have a whole bunch of things going on, you need an outlet. You need something that you enjoy to kind of release your emotions, release how you feel. And I would say music is that for me. I love the thought of just being able to produce a beautiful sound and just put it out into the world. Like, that is mine. That's what I created. And especially worship. I am huge in my faith, and I feel like making worship music and singing through worshiping is a huge way for me personally to get through my mental battles, to release what I'm feeling.
That's so sweet. It made me emotional because it's like you're so young and it sounds like you're very passionate about that portion in itself. And I just find that there are not a lot of younger generation that's gravitating towards their faith or don't even recognize how powerful it actually is. So you being able to create worship music and using that. So are you a singer?
Yes, I do. On Wednesday night youth groups, I sing in the worship team. I love it. I just sing a lot in general. Anybody who lives in my house can vouch that I'll be unloading the dishwasher and singing at the top of my lungs, or in the shower and singing.
As you prepare to graduate from high school, what are your plans for the future, and how do you see lupus advocacy fitting into that?
So I am going to graduate in May. I'm very, very excited for that. After that, I will turn 18, and I am actually I got accepted into KSU a couple of months ago, and I'm super excited for that. It's located in Kennesaw, and it is closer to our Georgia Lupus Foundation of America office, and I feel like that would be a lot of help. They have already offered for me to be able to come in during that time and help out with some of their, just like in the office, and
right.
Also during other events. I have a couple of other events going on in these upcoming months. This is January through May, I think it is when the Congress meets and passes all their laws and stuff. The representatives goes to the Capitol, and that's when we're most active. That's when I feel like we have a lot of events coming up that I'll be participating in, and even after that, in my college life, I'll be able to do that.
Okay. So is there something outside of the lupus advocacy part that you're aiming to do? Are you wanting to go into music and having a music career? Or is it just like, what are you going to go to school for?
I'm going to school for communications.
Okay.
I love talking to people. I love just interacting with people. I would like to go into the performing arts industry. I have been acting in some studios around Atlanta as background acting. I've done some modeling. So I just really like performing. I like being in front of people. And I'm a big theater and act kid. I just love bringing those stories to life and, doing things that are usually not impossible in real life, bringing them to life.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you most grateful for on this journey, and how has gratitude shaped your outlook?
The people around me, my mom, my dad, both of them, my sister, they have greatly shaped my outlook. They have made me appreciate that it has made you look more on yourself, which is a good thing. But you also need to look on the people around you, because it doesn't just affect you. It also affects people around you. It has affected my family, the people who care about me. And yet they've helped me through so much. They've been like, hey, I know you don't feel good, but you still need to keep pushing yourself, which is entirely true. Like, there is a limit, but sometimes you do need to push yourself to get up and not live your life laying in bed all day.
Yeah.
I would say also, again, my faith. He has helped me and guided me to keep going forward, and that, hey, you still have so much more to do.
That's so sweet. I love that. I'm looking forward to your little graduation celebration that you post online. I know. So what about, this will be the last thing, but I'm really curious about your intention when it comes to showing up online and social media, because I see you post a couple of videos, but I just wanted to know, like, what were some ways that you plan on showing up online?
Yeah, I feel like posting on different social media platforms, that really is a good way to advocate and show lupus. It's a way to make it known. And I feel like listening to the different trends, like what's trending, what people watch, and reaching people in that way is the best way to make them know about lupus, to help them understand it and know more about it. So I do post videos kind of about my life and how I feel, or just like, also it doesn't always have to be about lupus, just like, because we are not just lupus. We have a side of it, and we are learning to live with it and cope with it. So I feel like it's important to also show your life that's not lupus always. And my target audience is like the teenagers, the younger people, but it's also for older women specifically. I feel like I speak more towards women that are struggling with mental battles, mental health, or any physical condition, because more people have them than you realize. More people have physical conditions.
Okay, I see you, girl. Thank you so much, Sophia, for sharing your incredible journey with us today. Your resilience, your strength, and your dedication to helping others in the lupus community is truly inspiring. I know our listeners have gained so much from your story and your wisdom. So remember, you are not alone, and there is a community of warriors fighting alongside you every step of the way. If you'd like to connect with Sophia and follow her journey, please be sure to check her out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Sophia Galvis.
Yeah.
So before we go, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your own strength and how far you've come on your journey. We're all in this together. Thank you for tuning in to Lupus Speaks. Be sure to subscribe, and you don't want to miss another episode. Until then, stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember to live life to the fullest. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode of the Lupus Speaks Podcast. I hope you found some inspiration, encouragement, and a few loopy gems to carry with you on your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other lupus warriors who might need to hear this. And remember, you don't have to walk this path alone. We're building an incredible community here, so follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lupus Speaks, or check out lupusspeaks.org for more ways to connect and get involved. And until next time, peace and be intentional.